Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and today's video is going to be a little bit shorter than some of the previous episodes, in particular the last, but it's more of a PSA and a warning against not backing up your files and the dangers that can come from that. So, for those of you who don't know, we run the Minecraft server on a Mac Mini, and Apple has a fantastic backup solution that they call a time machine, which is absolutely spectacular, and that I do highly recommend everyone use. It's really easy to set up, and once you get it set up, it just backs up every hour, everything, and you can restore to it very easily. So, I also run the Minecraft server, again, like I said, on this server, and something else that I run the Minecraft server on this Mac Mini. On this Mac Mini, I use a program called AT Launcher to set up, install, and run the server. AT Launcher is probably the greatest Minecraft launcher around. If you are looking for something that works with just about every mod pack out there and allows you to create custom packs and run vanilla, pretty much any version of vanilla, all the way back to like InDev and InfDev, and all the way up to the newer stuff. But because I'm running it on a Mac, there's a couple of quirks you might need to be aware of. For example, for whatever reason, the decision was made that instead of storing data in the usual places you would, like in the library, application support, right, like you normally do on a Mac, they store all of their data inside of the app itself, the app package. And I was not aware of this. So recently, I was trying to get the server set up on 1.21.7, the latest version. And the server wouldn't boot for whatever reason. I got the client working on my Linux computer using, again, the AT Launcher, but I could not get the server to function. I thought, well, that's odd. I wonder what's going on here. I wonder what's going wrong. And what I decided to do was try updating the app. Now, I didn't check how to update the app properly, but for a lot of Mac programs, what you do is you just download the latest version of the app, drop it in the applications folder, and then when it says this app's already there, do you want to replace it? You hit yes. And there you go, you've updated the app. It's not the only way to update apps on macOS, but it's a pretty common one for apps downloaded off the internet to work like that. And I didn't think anything of it. That seemed to be the most sensible thing to do to me. So I did that. I downloaded the latest version of the AT Launcher. When I drug it into the application tab, and it asked, it's already there, do you want to overwrite it? I said yes. And then I opened up the application. And there was nothing there. The servers were gone. All of the files were gone. And I thought, that's odd. That doesn't make any sense to me, because that is not traditionally how it works. Something is not right here. And so at that point, I got on the internet, and I looked up, where does it store its files? Now, the reason you can pretty easily just replace apps like this is because, like I said earlier, most applications store their data inside of the Mac's file system, not in the application package. But as soon as I saw on Google that, for whatever reason, the AT Launcher stores everything inside of its app package, I panicked. Because I realized that everything was in the app package. I've made backups of the world, but I always left them in a folder adjacent to the server. Thinking, I never checked to see where that was really. I kind of just always made the assumption that that folder was somewhere in application support, but it wasn't. So not only was the world deleted, but every copy of the world, every backup I had, going all the way back to January of this year, was also deleted. And because I replaced the app package instead of manually deleting it, it didn't go to the trash can. It just ceased to exist. Now, I tried to figure out if there was a way to restore this. I went to the trash can and I searched around and it wasn't in there. I tried showing hidden files, did some Google searches, and very quickly came to the realization that if there is a way to do it, and if you're watching this and you know that there is a way to do it, please comment down below and let me know. Because the conclusion I came to was that it's just gone. It overwrote that data. It did not do any kind of dumping to trash. and it's all just gone forever. The Minecraft 2025 world is just gone forever. And at that point, I began... I don't want to say I was panicking, that might be an exaggeration, but I definitely started to sink into this, like, oh no, what am I going to do? Am I going to... Halfway through the year, do I want to restart the world? And at that point, the feeling was no. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to restart the world. I don't want to start from the beginning. And I started praying. And I wasn't even really sure what I was praying for, because asking God to restore a deleted file felt silly. I mean, it would be a literal miracle, and God's been known to do those from time to time, but it seemed like such a ridiculous thing to ask for. So I just asked for peace, presence of mind, and guidance on what to do next. Because I figured, you know, it's possible this isn't the end of the world. It's possible there's something I can do. And then I went back through the trash can, and I found something that shouldn't have been there. It was a folder titled Test. See, when I was getting ready to set up the 1.21.7 server, I actually copied the contents of it as I was trying to go back and forth and get it working into a test folder that was inside of the AT Launcher application package, the package that was deleted. I don't believe that I manually deleted that folder. As far as I remember, I left it in there, and then it should have gotten deleted. And yet there it was. It was in the trash can by itself, not as part of the application package, just there. I'm not saying that it was an actual intervention by God. I am saying it happened right after I was at my lowest point and begging for peace and guidance. And I drug it out, and I said, is the world in there? And the world was in there. And I said, okay, how recent is it? It was that day. And I said, is this the world? And ladies and gentlemen, it is with a great deal of relief and gratitude to God Almighty that I can report it was in fact the latest version of the world. So nothing was lost. My inventory is a little different than when we left off, because I actually recorded an entire tour of the world in between the end of the last episode and the start of this one, which is why I have some of my items and then also random things in my inventory. That is why. But that video will never see the light of day because I had OBS set up incorrectly and the video looks like a postage stamp. However, I'm happy to report that even though I've sadly lost every old version of the map, which is actually very sad because I had the plan to go back and go through at the end of the year what the world looked like on the first day of every month, because I have had a backup for what the world looked like on the first day of every month. That's just gone forever now. But the world is here, the sand machine is functioning, and I can report that I have now made world backups outside of that folder, directly on my storage server that itself gets backed up to a backup server, and I have enabled Time Machine. It took 30 seconds, and it now does a backup of everything on the system every hour, such that if I ever, for whatever reason, delete the old AT launcher or replace it with a new one, I can go into Time Machine and restore the old one, and go into the application package and fetch the world. So what is the point of today's video? This is a PSA, everyone. Please, for the love of all things, backup. Have backups. Set up your backups, use your backups, and pray. God's listening. Even to what seems like a senseless, inane prayer. Pray. Thank you folks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.